Well, this is the second week in a row where we're talking about a Nike City Connect uniform being revealed. This week it's in Cincinnati. The Reds are not,
Yes,
they're barely red anymore. They are
they're
very black
they're
as
going
they're,
White Sox style on this
yeah, it's
one.
that's the first thing I thought of. They're very reminiscent of the White Sox South Side City Connect jerseys. All black, black hat, black jersey, black pants, no pinstripes like your socks, but a lot of red and white accents. My first impression is they look sharp. Uh,
Yeah, I think they do
it,
look sharp.
they kind of took a modern approach, just kind of modernized, made up their own logo, a brand new C logo for the hat that's very stylized. They have Cincy across the chest and kind of a neon sign uh, type effect. Cincy obviously is the nickname, the well-known nickname of the city. I thought that made
That's
perfect
right.
sense. I thought the whole look was good. They did have an explanation for parts of the or the different elements, which you and I have mocked on previous occasions. Especially with
Um,
Texas was the
yeah,
worst. Seattle was getting up there a little bit convoluted. We don't really need if it needs to be explained that much. It's probably off point, but since he did have an explanation, but it was far less verbose than what we've seen in the past. So I'm giving him points for that. But
yeah.
you,
There's three things, like or four things
yeah,
they talk about.
yeah,
That's it, and it's not even like there's a motto. What's it? Juncta Javant.
yeah. I had to look that one up. That was the one part that I didn't understand. There's a Buckeye leaf, which I did understand, but then the words, whatever you just said, they're Latin, two words in Latin that start with J. Uh, that I had no idea. What is it? What does it mean again?
It's Cincinnati's motto, which is strength and unity.
It's fine. That's fine. That's
Fine,
on. That's
perfect.
inside the collar, I believe, or is that someplace else?
Uh,
I missed where that was, but I think that's where it is.
it doesn't show where it's at on
I think it's the same
this.
place where Seattle put the cross pitch for or cross
Oh yeah,
tridents and the
yes.
Soto. So I think that's right in the back. So what else do they have?
Then the names and numbers on the jersey illuminate the flashes of infrared color sparked by the passion of our city and our team. Again,
This
this is one of
is
those
it's
explanations
fine.
Nike gives
Yeah.
that is not necessary.
Also, infrared is not visible, so
Yeah.
the irony of that, the idea they're calling.
Um,
I know why they're calling it infrared because it sounds cool, but it's just red.
and the last thing they talk about, and I'm seriously, guys, I'm not even kidding. Then we're done with this jersey. It's
Wow.
insane.
Usually this is
The
a much longer segment.
Yes, the classic C logo receives a modernized look and appears on both the cap and sleeve. It's
Hmm.
evolved to the bold badge of honor symbolizing the vision of today's Reds.
That's cool.
The wavelength lines course throughout the uniform, representing the collective energy that connects and aligns all of Reds country. The
Yeah,
contemporary
that's
design of the piping signifies moving forward and lighting the way to what comes next. And
again.
that's where you lose
Yeah,
us.
again, the piping. We don't need to describe the symbolism of piping on any uniform, but that's fine. But again, this is their explanation. I think they feel obligated to have explanations on stuff just because the other teams have, but they kept this to a minimum.
Yes.
They also kept the historical references to a minimum. There are none, as far as I can tell, which
Yeah,
is
the
kind of ironic considering they are the oldest of professional baseball organizations. So they're over 150 years old. Um, it's that I found that interesting. I think that's cool though, because I feel like they've played into that throughout their history. They play into their history throughout their history. They've done myriad throwback uniforms. Um, so and their uniforms really haven't changed a ton over the years.
no.
They have had black in their uniform before. I think it was the 90s where that sleeveless look was popular. I think they had black sleeves underneath. They had the famous C kind of drop shadow
Yeah.
outlined in black before. They may have had a black brimmed hat before. So the black color does not come from nowhere. So I thought that was cool too. Um, Again, overall, even they got a little bit verbose. Can't hold them against them if you take the uniforms in their face value, which is really what they're for. I think they look great. I think they the look is cool. The logos that they chose have, they don't really reference any past Reds look, which is fine. And they just went for something modern. Like if they were starting a brand new team in Cincinnati, that might be their uniform. I think it makes sense. I like it.
Yeah, I feel like it's a uniform where you could almost like see the team that would be their uniform.
Yeah, and
You know?
that's the compliment we gave the White Sox. That
Yeah.
the Southside jerseys just looks like their third jersey. It doesn't look like a
Yeah.
special one-off thing that
Right.
Nike pulled out of their ass.
Oh, you know, in the case of the White Sox, that's like their 5th or 6th jersey they
Oh,
wear
that's
during
the
the
other thing.
season, but
Yes.
yeah, but that's a whole nother story.
That's another story. But
Yeah,
so I'm gonna go ahead and give a double middle fingers up for
I'm with
these
you.
Cincinnati Reds City Connect jerseys.
Woo, let's
Wow,
go.
we,
All
we were
right.
we were in disagreement last week about the Mariners City Connect
Well, I mean, you
uniforms.
just didn't know, but
Yeah.
that's cool.
I didn't want to give them a negative review just because of that fucking hat. That was so great, but I had to do it. I think these Cincy uniforms are a step up from that. So I don't know when the next City Connect uniforms will be released.
Let's hope not next week. I need a
Yeah, this is a
break.
lot for you. I
I
appreciate your
need a
patience.
break. I need
I
a
think
break, folks.
I think you're lying. I think you love this, but thank you for participating either way.
Word Hole Media.